William Shakespeare, Sonnet 18. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Before we read and study Sonnet 18 by William Shakespeare, it is important to have some background information about the poem. What is a sonnet? A sonnet is a poem that has 14 lines. In Shakespeare's sonnets, the lines rhyme. The rhyme pattern is AB, AB, CD, CD, EF, EF, GG. Can you see the rhyme pattern in Sonnet 18? Each line in a sonnet has 10 syllables. This is called an iambic pentameter. An iambic pentameter resembles a heartbeat. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Can you see the iambic pentameter in the following line from Sonnet 18? A sonnet has 4 parts or sections called quatrains. The first 3 quatrains contain 4 lines. The final quatrain contains just 2 lines. Test your knowledge about a sonnet. What is a sonnet? How many lines does a sonnet have? What is the rhyme scheme of a sonnet? What is an iambic pentameter? What are the sections or parts of a sonnet called? How many lines does a final quatrain have in a sonnet? Shakespearean English is completely different from modern English. Today, nobody speaks Shakespearean English. This is why Shakespeare is so difficult to understand. Read Sonnet 18. Do you understand what the sonnet is about? Now read the modern version of Sonnet 18 on the next slide. The modern translation, Sonnet 18. Shall I compare you to a summer's day? You are more lovely and more constant. Strong winds shake the lovely flowers of May, and summer is far too short. Also, at times, the sun is too hot, or it can be covered by clouds, and everything beautiful will eventually die, by misfortune or naturally. But your beauty shall not fade, nor will you ever lose your beauty, nor will death claim you for its own, because in my eternal poetry you will live forever. As long as there are people on this earth, they will read this poem, and this will make you immortal. Now you have read the modern translation, do you understand Sonnet 18? Shakespeare wrote 154 sonnets, and Sonnet 18 is his most popular. Some say it is his best sonnet. Sonnet 18 is supposed to be the most famous poem in the English language. Sonnet 18. What is a sonnet about? Shakespeare wonders whether he should compare his love to a summer's day. This is a wrong comparison because the person he loves is better. There are many problems associated with summer. Strong winds can destroy flowers, the season ends too quickly, and the sun can get too hot or it can be covered by clouds. Also, everything that is beautiful does eventually die. Summer will end, but the beauty of the person will never fade. Even death will never be able to destroy the person Shakespeare loves because they will exist in his poetry. As long as humans exist and read this sonnet, his love will be kept alive. Sonnet 18 is presented as a dramatic monologue. A dramatic monologue is a solitary speech by a person who is addressing a particular individual or a situation. In Sonnet 18, Shakespeare is describing the person he loves. Shakespeare never names the person who he is addressing in the sonnet. Shakespeare never describes the person's physical features in the sonnet. We are told nothing specific about the person he loves and admires. Poetic Devices. Sonnet 18 is an extended metaphor. In Sonnet 18, Shakespeare is comparing his love to a summer's day. The comparison with summer is mentioned throughout the poem. Darling buds of May is a metaphor for summer flowers. The eye of heaven is a metaphor for the summer sky. Gold complexion is a metaphor for sunlight. Thy eternal summer is a metaphor for something permanent. Poetic Devices. In Sonnet 18, Shakespeare uses hyperbole to exaggerate his love for the person he is talking about. Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Shakespeare is saying that his love is better than the summer. But thy eternal summer shall not fade. Shakespeare is saying that his love will last forever. Poetic Devices. In Sonnet 18, Shakespeare uses alliteration to capture the attention of the reader. Every fair from fair. Chance or nature's changing course. Poetic Devices. In Sonnet 18, Shakespeare uses personification to make his love more vivid. Nor shall death brag in his shade. This gives life to thee. Poetic Devices. In Sonnet 18, Shakespeare uses repetition in order to emphasize important words associated with his love. More, summer, eternal, fair, this. Test your knowledge about poetic devices used in Sonnet 18. What is a dramatic monologue? What is an extended metaphor? What is a hyperbole? Can you find an example of alliteration in Sonnet 18? What is personification? Why is repetition used in Sonnet 18? Analyzing Sonnet 18. The themes of the poem. Sonnet 18 has three main themes. Number 1. An individual's love for another person. It is a romantic poem. Number 2. Nature is not perfect. Shakespeare reveals that the natural world is brief and imperfect. The sun's golden complexion is often dimmed. The season of summer, like life, will eventually end. Number 3. Art, poetry, literature and paintings is permanent. Shakespeare's love is timeless because it is preserved in his eternal lines poetry. Sonnet 18. Did you enjoy Sonnet 18? Why do you think Sonnet 18 is regarded as the most favourite poem in English? Sonnet 18 is supposed to be one of the greatest love poems of all time. Do you agree with this statement?